Hello, hello, hello.
Going on, John? Thanks for doing this, buddy. Good to see
How
you.
Oh my gosh, how you doing, man?
I'm good. I'm
Oh,
good.
how embarrassing, you know?
No, like I
Oh,
said, I was doing stuff anyway, man. It's all good. So, for context,
oh,
people are watching, like, what is he talking about? Embarrassing. So,
yeah.
we booked this. You're like, what, 8 hours away? 9 hours
Eight
difference
hours, eight
of
hours
me?
ahead. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
So, like, we booked something, but I was like, well, I could book it earlier, so it's not so late. But it was like 11:30 at night for you.
yeah. It was a good night though, Todd. Like we went to the Houses of Parliament last night for a long
Yeah, yeah.
lunch thing. We can get into that later, but I got home. I just because I was gonna chill out, just and hung out and started reading and fell asleep and didn't wake up with the alarm because my notifications turn off after 10:30 because I'm an old man,
Right.
and it buzzed, but it wasn't loud. Oh, and I woke up this morning and I saw your message, and I hate being late. I hate missing things. It's like a really
It's
like I
probably for
freak
me,
out a little bit, and
like, it's up there as well, like it's.
yeah,
But all good because now we're connecting, and I'm really
we're
looking
here,
forward
man.
to picking your brain here. So where did you grow up, by the way?
So I'm a military brat. So my dad was U.S. Marine, naval aviator, pilot, fighter pilot, and so I grew up all over the place. I was born in Pensacola, Florida, and um, but kind of some formative years in Chicago. So I'm a
Yeah.
Cubs fan and a Bears fan and and everything else. So, but yeah, I kind of all over the place, literally all over the place.
And what was that like? I was kind of like that too as a kid. Like, I moved around. I think I had like 7 or 8 different schools as a kid through elementary and secondary.
Yeah,
Oh, we got to.
I listen. Is this an unstable? I'll tell you what we're gonna do. We're gonna start this whole damn thing again. Don't change. I'm gonna go over to the house. I'm in the studio. I'm gonna go over to my sitting room, and I'm just gonna make sure that we've got
Oh,
stable
yeah,
connection.
yeah, yeah. I
Okay,
hear you. Okay,
just
sure.
so listen, we can carry this on. Let's
We can try.
do this. This is awesome. I'll give you a tour of the house.
I love it.
So this is the studio. So my boy is about to go in and record his first EP. He's in a band, and look at this. This is not London weather. This is not London weather. This is
Looks pretty
ridiculous.
good, John.
So the studio where I normally am,
Yeah.
it's just it's kind of taken over a little bit, but I'm just carrying on through the house, and I'm just gonna go in my
This is a first.
into my sitting room. It might be just that bit easier. So there you go. You've got the tour of the Schwab house.
Nice.
I'm going to put you down on the desk, and
It
I'm
looks
going to
like you got
grab
a
a
pretty nice
chair,
day for
and we're going to
for London.
do
How
this.
long have you been living in London for now?
So I've been in London for. My wife hates that painting, so I'm going to go this way. I've been. I've been in London for 30 some odd years,
Oh shit! Wow.
Uh,
So it's home.
well, when I say the UK, so I've been in the UK for 30 years. I went to Durham University. So I said that I went to Korea and spent some time in Korea. My wife is also a military brat. Her father was in the British forces. He was in the British Army, and I met her as an 18, 19-year old out in Seoul, Korea, and yeah, and followed her to Durham, and it was great. It was. I thought London wasn't necessarily in my view. I wasn't gonna get married till I was 30. I was gonna go and do a theater degree, and I was gonna go to New York, and I was gonna tread the boards, and then I met Tamsin, and that all changed. That just wasn't in my like I said, it wasn't in my plans. But oh man, it changed my life in all the best possible ways. It was great.
That's great. And and so, what's an average day for you then? Like, so when you're working, what's an average day? And when you're not
Yeah.
working, what's average?
So, today I was doing some, so I do a lot of different things. Todd, as you can see, I hate standing still. That was nothing is simple in this setup. No, I like to be busy, so I do a lot of sound editing stuff for. There was a podcast that was up on Spotify. It's now we've just rebranding, which will go back up. But I do a lot of sound editing, so I've got 2 or 3 episodes of that podcast, and it's we take classic literature and condense it down into 20 minutes, and it's all fun. It's a comedy podcast, so we've got some great like video games and voice character actors here in the UK that we all get together and do that, written by a guy called David Spicer, who is a BBC Radio 4 writer and just one of the funniest guys I know. So we've done about 15, 16 of those.
Is that
Rebranding. It's
the
going to be
the curtain call?
no. So the Curtain Call was a theater podcast. This one is a completely different podcast.
Oh,
It was called A Bridge Too Far. Now, Todd, I loved that title. I thought Abridged Too Far was hilarious, but no one was able to type it for one because we had a missing E, so you had to misspell it to find it. It was just we
oh,
were being too clever for our own good, and so we're calling it All the Books You Should Have Read But Haven't.
okay.
And it says what it does on the tin.
But books
So
is spelled with one O, and
yeah, man. So we're doing that. So I kind of that's part of my day if I'm not doing anything else. Or if I'm not doing a video game record or like an ADR. I just kind of I'm a member of kind of a couple of loop groups here, um, where we kind of which I love. And I don't know if the loop groups people out there know what they do is we kind of create the atmosphere sound on films and television shows. So if you're in a restaurant, you get everybody, all the supporting artists are back in the background miming conversations. We go in and record those conversations to fill in the sound.
oh, that's
It's
wild, dude.
it's wild. We do it's all improv, and so we again it's kind of with the same people that I do the podcast with. It loads the same people that we do all the good books, and yeah, just funny stuff and fun stuff. So if I'm not doing that, I've got a kid who plays soccer, so I'm playing taxi, still driving him to school. I do people show reels, voice reels, so uh, animation reels for voice,
Wow.
games reels for voice, commercial reels. I just love sound. I mean, I know you're kind of in
Yes,
that world too, so I love creating soundscapes and worlds out of nothing. I
yeah.
I have a Zoom field recorder that I've taken around the world and recorded beaches and rivers and fields just to get the ambient sound. And then part of my day will be I write music to that ambient sound. So I have a lot of music on Spotify that is kind of really soothing piano based music that I still listen to go to bed. I wrote stuff that chills me out.
Yeah.
So you can find that on self plug. Find that just as my name, John Schwab, on Spotify. And it's I have an 8-hour sleep cycle, but I also have some just really chilled music on there to help you kind of get through the day in a nice calm way.
That's
Kind of
so
the
rad, dude. What a
opposite of what my life is like.
yeah, what a wild answer, man.
Yeah.
Is it more voice work or is it more acting?
So it kind of changed about 10 years ago. I have done a lot of voice work. I narrated hundreds of television shows in America. So
Wow.
um, I did the original run of Wife Swap. So I did 120 some odd episodes of Wife Swap when it first came out on ABC. I did Weaponology. I've done Dr. Jeff, Rocky Mountain Vet. I've done a lot of series narrating, but I also done a lot of ads in up to about 10 years ago. So crazy stuff. I was the voice of Dove Men Plus Care for a while. That kind of thing.
And what a cool world to be in too, though.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
such a
great,
great world.
it's a great world. I, you know how I got into it? I was doing my first ever show back in 1997. Um, 96, 97. I did Elvis the musical
Oh,
at my first job out of university, and then we went on tour for 9 months, and then we came into the West End. And it's funny, as a young kid, you come out of university, you get your first job, and you're immediately in the West End. I was like, this acting stuff is easy. This is easy, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, right.
yeah.
So I went to we were in the West End Piccadilly Theater, and after one of the shows in the West End, somebody came up to me and said, "You've got a lot of different voices in you," because I played about 7 different characters.
Mm.
And she said, "Do you have a voiceover agent?" And I said, "What's that?" Um, and uh, she's like, when people do commercials or radio adverts, or film trailers, that kind of thing. I
Mhm.
said, I didn't know you could get paid doing that. And so her client was the lead in the show, and so and I was just a chorus member. And this guy, Tim Whitnell, God bless him, man. I was making no money as a chorus member back then. We just didn't in the West End. It was costing me money, and I didn't have enough money to make a voiceover reel. So she said, "Get your demo done because we love you." And I didn't have the money to get a demo done. And Tim Whitnell paid for my demo, and he said, "Pay me back when you get this done." So, me being guilty of the sin of pride, I waited months until he came to me and he said, "Hey, listen, Johnny, you're making me sound bad. You know, you're making me look bad. I paid the guy to go get your reel done. Go get it done. Get the tape to Hobson's, who were my agents then." And within the week, I was working with Kelsey Grammer on a Schweppes, ad, which is crazy. Like but Tim Whitnell did that. Um, and then,
Wow.
so as a result, I kind of have done the same thing for people as well. In my voice reels, I only do word of mouth stuff. But I also, for kids that are coming out of drama schools, I do a pay what you can thing.
Mm.
So if they only have 50 pounds to pay, I'm like, we'll make that work. Um, so I'm with that agent still, like 30 years later.
Wow.
I'm still with Lee Matty. She was with Hobbs for a while, and I've gone back with her. 30 years later, it's a great ride. But I'm kind of waffling. I think I'm giving you really long answers to your short questions.
No, no, this is good. This is good. And so was it Teletubbies? I read that it was
Yeah,
Teletubbies that kind of
yeah, that was kind
launched
of
you
my.
into that world.
It did. Teletubbies was my first big voiceover, and it was the first big kind of multi-episodic TV show. So yeah, and I mean, can you imagine when we got the remit through on that? They were like, "Yeah, you're gonna be the character of the voice trumpet." I went, "What
What?
the hell is that?" And they showed images of the Teletubbies, and I was like, what, what even is this?" And it's very funny because actually, now I'm thinking about it, Tim Whitnell, the guy that paid for my voice reel, was the lead voice actor in the British version of
Shut
Teletubbies.
up.
And I Yeah, that's a funny old thing. I forgot about that. Yeah, so that was in a kind of full circle moment. I remember him calling me now. He's like, "Yeah, John, like, do it, do the job. It'll lead to more things. Like, it's the biggest show on children's television." And he was right. He was
That's
absolutely
so
right.
wild. You know that I teach at BCIT, hey,
All
in
right.
Vancouver,
Okay.
into their audio and video production course and stuff. And like,
Amazing.
there's a class. I don't teach this class, but there's a class where we'll be like, what does your big toe sound like?
Yeah.
What would you sound like if you were a washing machine?
Yeah.
That
Of
sort of
course.
thing. And that's literally when you see like when you see a Teletubbies and they show you your character, you can
Yeah.
kind of get that image or that sound of what you want it to look like and sound like, right?
100%. I mean, the Teletubbies themselves were nonverbal. They only made sounds. So any words that the kids heard were the voice trumpet or the narrator, and my I still get weird. I still get fan mail from kids who are like, "You were the sound of my youth," and it
That's so
makes me.
awesome. What were you watching as a kid?
I watched all the Hanna-Barbera stuff, man. So Flintstones and the Jetsons and
Yes.
all of that. Casper the Friendly Ghost,
Scooby Doo and like,
Scooby Doo, all of the wacky stuff. My favorite were Looney Tunes, man. I love Wile E. Coyote and the Roadrunner. It was one of my favorite cartoons. And again, it's quite funny. It's nonverbal. It's only when Bugs Bunny shows up, sometimes with
right.
the coyote, but that's more Bugs Bunny. So it's no coincidence that I kind of went into a world where craziness and the reduced Shakespeare company where it's all slapstick clowning, all that kind of stuff. But it's growing up abroad as well. When we went to Okinawa, or when we went to Korea as a kid, we only got the armed forces radio and television service. So we were only shown what there was one channel. We were only shown what the military bought in to show us around the world. But we also, as a result, especially in Korea, um, I really got into British shows like Doctor Who, like
Yeah.
Fawlty Towers, which I just rewatched Fawlty Towers, and it is so good,
Yeah.
and so
So
funny.
ahead of its time, right?
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. Yes. But so those kind of, as I got older and I was kind of abroad, the British Forces Broadcasting System, I used to get their stuff um, as kind of an alternate channel, as it were. So, but yeah, mostly that stuff. Kids Incorporated. That's a crazy old. I mean, that's a throwback. That kind of got me into music. So that music studio that you all saw I walked from,
Yeah.
I love that music, and it's passing on to kids. Both of my boys are musicians. Um,
That's
Great
wild. Well, hold
musicians.
it. Pause, pause, pause.
Yeah.
So let's get to the music then in your world as a kid.
Yeah.
Like maybe what your parents were playing, what you were kind of being influenced by. Like, what was that?
Yeah. So dad was a young Marine Corps officer with four kids, feeding four kids, not a lot of money. So when we went on trips, we didn't fly, we did road trips. And we had the Green Machine, which is a green paneled station wagon, like Oldsmobile
Nice.
station wagon, and you can imagine what it looked like with the old 8-track. So I grew up on Neil Diamond, Dolly Parton, Kenny Rogers, ABBA, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Dylan, like like all of those singer songwriters, and it's all the country great. So Waylon Jennings and Willie Nelson and Carole King, like all these wonderful singer songwriters. So I grew up with music. We were like the Von Trapp family on road trips. My dad was a singer. All the kids could sing, and mom just tolerated us doing it. So that got me absolutely into the music. And I started out playing French horn so I was playing in Chicago with a French horn from five, and then I got busted because I hated carrying it to school, so I made my younger brother carry it,
Right.
and until my parents found out I was doing that, so I kicked the French horn to the curb, and I picked up the oboe because it was slightly smaller.
Right.
And then
Pick up the
really,
recorder instead, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Screw it.
Then I really realized that like no one really, I love the oboe, I love the sound of it, but I think in my prepubescent adolescent mind, girls don't look at guys who play oboes. So I started learning how to play piano because I had a little crush on the girl across the street when I was 11 years old, 12 years old, and she started teaching me how to play. And she had a piano at home, so she would taught me kind of the basics, and that's kind of how it all
Hmm.
really how it all began. And I've not looked back. I play drums, I play guitar, I play a bit of piano. There's
Yeah.
instruments all over the house.
Well, they do say like if you can play piano, you can pretty much play almost anything.
Yeah, you could pick out things like the piano teaches you. It's all mathematical interval
Well, so,
stuff.
yeah,
So,
it's all, I mean, it's time. It's
yeah,
all
yeah, yeah,
time.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So we, I don't play guitar as well as either of my boys. Like I'm self-taught musician for everything I play. A bit of bass, a bit of mandolin, a bit of this. But I played drums for years. I played for an artist called Krista Detour. She's an Americana artist. And again, when I realized that people, and unless you're Phil Collins or Taylor Hawkins, nobody really notices that's a drummer. So I was like, I need to get out in front of these drums,
Yeah,
started playing a bit more guitar and singing. So
yeah, yeah. I got a drum kit, sadly, just piled up in the corner here
man,
because,
I need to get one. I've got an electric drum kit, and they're great. They work
yeah,
and they're quiet enough. And when you need to rehearse, but I'm quite thinking about getting like a little jazz kit, like a half depth kick, and just get a snare, a hi-hat, a ride crash, and
it's all you
maybe
need.
a one time. It's all you need, man.
All you
I
need.
saw I saw Brett Dennen on tour here in the UK, and that's all his drummer had was a hi-hat, snare, drum, and a ride crash. And it was
Right.
phenomenal what he did with that.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
A good drummer will crush that.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Like
Yeah.
straight up. Yeah. And so, like, were you, when did you get into the acting bug? Like, when did it bite you? Like, were you a drama nerd as a kid?
I, yes, I was, and no, I wasn't. I, Unfortunately, as a kid, I'd love to go back to my younger self and say, stop worrying about what other people think about you, Schwab.
Or
Like, and
something
that
you
is
learn a
my,
little bit too late in life?
yeah, way too late, Todd, way too late. And I wish I'd have said, just keep going doing it. But, people said it was uncool. And I love the drama, but I didn't do anything from really like from fourth, fifth grade until my senior year. I went
Oh, wow.
to a Far East drama festival in my junior year in Okinawa. But even then, like my friends were taking the piss out of me and kind of go, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" And it really annoyingly um, kept me from really studying the craft as a young kid. I first got the bug when I went to a play in Chicago. I must have been 6, 7 years old, maybe six,
Mm.
but young. But I still have this vivid memory. It was The Princess and the Pea. And I remember being close to the front and this stack of mattresses that for me as a young kid, 6, 7, must have looked 100 feet high. It was probably 15 feet. Let's be honest. But
Yeah.
this print, the girl trying to find her true love, and the pee that you feel that pee underneath that stack of mattresses. And I was so involved when she found that when she slept, and I was like, yeah, it's just it. I was so into it, and my teachers when I was young saw that, and I did a couple of things soon after that where I sang on stage in front of the school. I did Happiness from You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown, and then we moved to South Carolina from Chicago, and it wasn't the done thing. It
Mm.
just wasn't the done thing, and so I didn't really do anything um,
But you
until
never lost the drive
I
to
never
do
lost the
anything.
drive, man. It really picked up in Korea when I got involved in something called the Performing Yongsan Performing Arts Center, the YPAC, and it was like the one theater they had on base there in Seoul for the expat community and for the military community. And because I had moved there after graduating high school in 29 Palms, went with mom and dad for one more trip on Uncle Sam's dime, and I didn't. I just thought, wow, why not go travel a bit more adventure? I graduated the high school at 17. I was young, and so went out there and got involved, and I did 3 or 4 plays a year. Like it was always something, and I was loving it. I also felt the compulsion to get a real job or do something,
You
and,
know that
and
that is a real job.
yeah, I know, but this is it. That's when I wasn't telling myself as a youngster that you could do this. And Larry Chandler, the guy that the creative director, artistic director of that place, told me like, John, you've got something, go do it. And so I went to university in the UK, and I worked as an actor. Like I worked at it. I did plays with the college, and Durham University has a great drama department and great. So I just got stuck in, and some of the people that I graduated with are on the West End as we speak. My graduating class, I love it. But again, I still had this thing where I was like, I should probably just join the military. I would like to. I love flying, so like I'll be a fighter pilot or something, like my dad, like my grandfather,
Mm.
follow in their footsteps. And it was the idea of dropping bombs on people, that I, and listen, I'm not bashing anyone who does that. Like there is a calling for people who are fighter pilots who protect us and who go out there and do that job that I didn't have the balls to do, the guts to do. Like like couldn't turn that switch off
Yeah.
for me. But my dad, my dad said, "Listen, son. Oh, this is my brother. No, go away." And so I said to my dad, said, "John, you'd make me the proudest father. Like I'd be proud of you, but I don't think it's you. You're a great actor. Go do that." And that gave me the permission. Not that I needed it, but that the little boy in me who wanted to make his dad proud, that wanted to people please,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it took that massive wall down in front of me to go and get an agent in my final year at university, which I did, to start working the minute I got out of university. And my dad's proud, like, and my father-in-law's proud, all these people who have supported me in that, what some people say is a crazy decision to go try and be an actor, because a lot of people, you know, don't get to do what I do.
Right.
I feel very lucky and very privileged and very grateful for the work that I do. And I'm a jobbing actor, Todd. I'm a working actor. I'm not a movie star. I get to do a lot of great things. People do call, there are people in my life that will call me a star and a movie star because they see me on a show and like,
Yeah.
oh, you're this, and I'm like, I'm just an actor, man. I'm doing a job that thankfully people want to give me. It's a great thing.
Yeah. John, you have a wild story, man.
Oh,
So
it's out there.
voice
It's out there.
acting,
Yeah,
musician,
yeah,
actor.
yeah.
When you find time, what are you binging? Like what do you watch and you can't get enough of?
So I uh I love a sci-fi. I love like so uh in fact I'm having coffee with Bert tomorrow, Amber. To me, she's Bert. It's her nickname. The director of Silo, one of the directors of Silo. That's my jam. I love things um, like sci-fi, space,
Mm-hmm.
future dystopian crap. Anything Star Wars. I literally have my watch.
Stop that by the
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
I was gonna bring that up. That's great. It's a great watch.
I that was the first movie I ever saw was
Same,
Star
dude, same.
Wars.
In
Yeah,
theaters.
1977. My mom took me around, and in fact, on base in Chicago, the line was so long that they just opened up the theater and let us go in there because they couldn't sell the tickets fast enough, and it was like $1 to get in, whatever.
Yeah.
And I asked my mom if we can go straight back in and watch it again. But I love recently got Slow Horses. My wife and I are watching Slow Horses, which is just incredible. So funny and so dark and so deep. Shrinking, again, I love a good comedy. So I've just had the opportunity to work with Jason Segel. I've done a film called Anxious People that's coming out in Thanksgiving time, and he's one of the actors, and we're all part of this ensemble. He's hilarious in this film in Anxious People, but also in Shrinking. He's just great. Um,
Is that weird,
love
by the way, when you create something and it takes so long for it to come out to the public?
Yeah, mate. Listen, I've done stuff. I've done stuff last year that's not coming out until December. So
What?
yeah. Well, I I've I've signed an NDA. I can say I'm working for Marvel. That's all I can say.
Okay.
So something that's coming out in December. I can't say what I'm doing on it, but it's crazy to think that is we started that in I started my journey on that in April last year.
Hmm.
So
That's
crazy.
pretty cool.
But it is cool. But so my binging, I just like a good series. I also love going to the cinema as well. Like I love going to the movies, of course I do.
What's
But
the last movie you saw in theater?
the last movie I saw was Project Hail Mary. Saw that last week.
Oh, so yes, I
Yeah,
was going to
yeah,
ask you
yeah,
about that
yeah,
since I'm, finding out that you're a sci-fi. Like, how
yeah.
crazy was that movie?
It was crazy, you know. I
Did
haven't
you
read
read
the
the
book.
book before, by the
I
way?
no, and I kind of wish I did. Well, listen, I listen to enough films podcasts as well. Like so, I don't like it to get any spoilers, or whatever. But they just said all the science in the movie is kind of backed up in the book. They explain in the laws of physics and how this could physically be possible. Um, all the stuff that goes on. But I laughed. I also cried. How did I weep? Like, how did I get teary eyed? Like at a rock? It makes no sense.
Right.
But I thoroughly enjoyed it. I love being taken for a ride, and I that movie took me for a ride. I thought the acting in it was superb, and I love that. So yeah, that was the last film.
And
Don't know what
so,
the next one's gonna be. Don't know.
where do you sit with alien visitation? Do you think they've visited? Do you think they live among us?
I If aliens were smart, I don't think they'd live among us. That's why I think that. But I do believe, and people could think I'm crazy. I believe 100% in aliens. I believe in. I have had myself. I've had a little when I was in 29 Palms, California. I had a little moment where I kind of woke up with some lights in my room, like that filled my room, and I went out and looked up in the sky, and there was this object moving across it literally my absolutely lit up my whole room. So I can't. It was unexplained, Todd. I can't explain what it was, but it happened. I wasn't asleep. I was pinching myself. I was going, "This is bizarre." But yeah, I looked up, and there were just lights shining down, and in my room was filled with this red light, like somebody had turned on this light inside my room, and like I had hairs standing up on the back of my head and everything else. It was crazy.
How
So
could you
yeah,
not believe then if you've had that happen to you?
I know, but
Holy
there's only a
shit.
few people that would listen to that and go, yeah, that happens. A lot of people think I'm kind of crazy and I was dreaming it, but like,
No.
it was something that definitely happened in here. You know, uh, I experienced that and woke up and it really had a moment of
Dude,
craziness.
what a wild story, man. I love it. Okay, I know you're not allowed to with the
Yeah,
NDA,
yeah,
Marvel, and all that,
yeah,
but I want to dig in a little bit.
sure.
Which superpower would you want to have?
Oh, I think so. I can say I worked for Marvel on Fantastic Four. So I was
Like
I
the
kind of
latest Fantastic
the
Four movie?
latest Fantastic Four.
Okay.
I stood in for Evan Moss Backrack as the Thing when he was finishing his filming for The Bear. So my credit is the Thing acting double. So one of the weirdest jobs I've ever done, and the most satisfying and the most wonderful. And incredible. So I watched Eben rehearse with Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, and Joe Quinn, and then after that day of rehearsal with all of them, he's just like, right, Schwab, over to you. And so I was the thing for 3.5 weeks
Nice.
during the reshoots, and then Eben was, I just kind of watched him similar, kind of did his performance, was there for the other actors, and he obviously did the voice, he did all they
Yeah, yeah.
captured the
Well, so you're just
voices.
kind of like, is it the mannerisms that you're trying to get, or what is it that you're trying to
Yeah,
do?
well, because he had the mocap suit on. I was really there for the other three, and with that mocap suit on, so they could approximate where I was, and I watched that rehearsal with them, so we all knew what the scene basically was. But
Okay.
so the superpower, I've always loved to fly, like, but Johnny Quinn, you
Right.
know, playing Joe Quinn, sorry, playing Johnny,
Johnny
John,
Blaze.
yeah, I would definitely love to be able to fly and to be on fire like that. Like that was incredible.
Pretty
Now,
awesome.
it's pretty awesome, and the fact he can go in space, he can go up there. So a flight would be my superpower.
Yeah. Did you read much, like comics and stuff as a kid?
Yeah, I did actually, and I used to have quite a few comics.
Do you really?
Unfortunately, my old comics were washed away in a hurricane in Florida, the Hurricane
Yeah.
Ivan, because they were stored with mom and dad.
Oh
So
man.
I lost some stuff, but I love uh the Walking Dead books were unbelievable. I love those graphic novels. I still have all of those in my office.
Yeah.
Absolutely, that was my jam. That was another thing I was a completist on, and
Yeah. Same.
um,
And you thought they did a pretty good job of translating the comics to the
I
actual,
did.
right? It was
I
so
did.
bang on.
I thought it was absolutely bang on. And then, David Morrissey is a mate of mine. And when he got the governor, I was like, yes.
Nice.
And, he was so good as that. He's not the governor. He's the most lovely guy you will ever meet.
Right.
And yeah, so
Acting.
yeah, I love
Who thought of it? That's great.
exactly that, exactly. But and I'm a big gamer as well, so I
Are you
love
really?
my games. Yeah, so Last
Well,
of Us, like, for me, was talk about something that really does nail
yes.
what a game is like. And working with Pedro on the Fantastic Four, having seen him in The Last of Us, I mean, I think I bugged the crap out of him talking about The Last of Us on that. I think he was like, John, are you going to just only ask me about The Last of Us? Like, what can I say?
You're like, yeah.
What can I say? Yeah.
That's so good. How about sports? Do you watch much sports?
So I'm a Cubs. I follow Cubs on the MLS. We don't get a lot of the baseball over here.
Oh, true
So
enough.
the Major League Baseball we get. I'm on the app, so I can kind of catch up. I get the ones that they decide to show us. Same with football. I'm a Chicago Bears fan, Chicago Cubs fan.
Yeah.
I am a soccer fan. My youngest plays soccer, but I'm a Newcastle United supporter. So we won a cup last year, but uh, they're a team that loves to frustrate its fan base. Let's put it like that.
Yeah. Well,
We did.
I'm a Vancouver Canucks fan, so
Okay.
I
Okay.
have
Yeah.
empathy, I have sympathy. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. But I do some fantasy football stuff. But, that was something we had on this last project, was the fantasy football.
Yeah.
Marvel fantasy football base. That's quite fun. That is crazy.
Are you a gambler? Like, will you gamble on sport?
No, I'm terrible. I'm a terrible gambler. I don't like throwing my money. I'm a terrible card player. I lose at any game I play.
Mm.
So I
If you're
don't.
playing, it's just for the hang.
It's just for the hang. It's for the banter. It's for I have won a league or two for fantasy football. That's slightly different because, but normally what happens is I think I ended up with two of my starting picks this fantasy football. Like, everybody got injured, and I had to trade people away to have some sort of starting team. Yeah,
Yeah, that's the way it
that's
goes.
my daughter-in-law going to work, and my son,
Hey,
and the dog saying hello.
nice.
Yeah.
All right, John, I've got two more questions. I'll respect your time.
Awesome. I
Thank
hope
you.
I hope I haven't been so
I've been
all over the
fantastic. Are you
place.
kidding me? Oh, I'm
Oh,
super happy we connected.
good.
John, it's not a question, it's a story. Hit
Yeah.
us with the time where you could have died. Like, holy shit, near death story,
Right. How many do you want?
right?
So
Almost everybody I ask, and I've asked thousands of people.
so the craziest one, and and I mean, how it would have pissed me off, Todd, if I had died at this point. So I was on the underground here on the Piccadilly line, and this is pre like people freaking out if anybody left luggage behind or so but there was I just noticed this guy. He's like really sharp dressed guy that got in on the tube and sat near me, and then he got off at like Hammersmith or something, and the tube went, and I was like, oh shit, he left his briefcase. um all right, so I'll have a look, and I opened it. It was unlocked, and I opened it, and there was some very important legal things happening. Like there were notes for a case that was going to go to court or do something. So the law firm's name was at the top, and it was like we're talking millions of pounds. It was like it was in the first kind of paragraph of somebody who's suing somebody or something, and I was like, oh my lord. So I called the number on top and said, hey, um, I think one of your uh, solicitors or lawyers had left their briefcase on the underground. It's I'll just tell you the name of and they went, yes, yeah, oh my gosh, okay, thank you so much for calling. I said, I'll bring it to the office if you want me to. It's not really on my way, but I don't trust to leave it anywhere. And they said, we would love that. Thank you so much. So I got off at Marylebone, was walking down Baker Street or Marylebone High Street or something down towards Marylebone, and the road narrows, the sidewalk narrows, and it's like one of the poshest roads, and I hear a scream, and which made me kind of slow down a bit, and I feel a brush across my head and across my shoulder, and the loudest bang I have ever heard in my life, which your body stops. Like it's like it scared the bejesus out of me, and I kind of shook, and I looked down, and there is a brass elephant about like this embedded into the car, because I moved out of the way of some people and I was standing opposite this car, and this thing has embedded into the front side of a Jaguar, and it's literally in the car, and and I look up, and the cleaner has gone, oh my god, are you okay? She had knocked it out of the window,
Oh
and
my.
it went past my head, just brushed my shoulder, and embedded itself into the car next to me. Had that been 2 inches over, I would not be here today.
2 seconds later, like
Hey,
any of the above.
any of that, I would not be here. And that was
Also being a
me
good guy.
doing a good. I
I'll
know,
bring it
that was
back.
it. I was doing something good, and then, oh Lord, have mercy.
Holy shit. Yeah, trust me, man. Everybody, like, if you ask that question of people, that most people have
Yeah,
something, whether it's a little dicey, most people it's in a car.
yeah. I've
A
got a
lot of,
car one as well. I just
yeah,
don't
a
know
lot of
how
people are
ever.
like, oh, yeah, I
Yeah,
almost drowned as a kid.
yeah,
Riptide pulled me out, pulled me under, like smashed my head on rocks. Like, pretty
yeah,
wild.
yeah,
Okay, John, last
yeah.
question. Could be the
What's up?
toughest, could be the easiest.
Okay.
Hit me with one career highlight.
Oh,
What is the top? What's the pinnacle of your career?
I have two moments.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, okay. There's one that's a career moment and one that's a personal moment. They kind of are. I'm going to give you both because I'm going to cheat. My
Mhm.
career highlight, when I was 18, 19 years old, when I got engaged to my wife, we're still married, 30, I think we're 32 years this year. Yeah.
Hey,
But
really?
yeah,
Nice.
but we traveled to London. She wanted to show me London. We're teenagers. And I remember standing outside of uh, the National Theater and going, one day, I'm going to be on stage here.
Wow.
And I mean, how many years later, maybe 20 years later from that moment? No, gosh, more than that, 25, 26 years later, I'm standing backstage having just opened David Henry Hwang's European premiere of his Pulitzer Prize winning play, Yellowface. And I'm in the wings, like having just done my last exit, about to take my bow, and I'm blubbing because I'm like that was my. I was like, if I get here, I'll have done it. But like,
You did it.
I've done it. But my I think my career highlight, my highlight was I wasn't in a great place. Um, one thing I'm really proud of is I'm 9.5 years sober, man. I've been in recovery. It took me a long time to get there and to get it, and to get over the crap that happened to me, previously in my life. And I was newly sober. I had been offered two things: a play, um, working with a phenomenal director that I was like, oh my God, or working on a TV show called Trust that Danny Boyle was directing.
Mm.
I was like, this is my higher power going, I was desperate to do this theater play. It was like, okay, it's not a massive role in Trust, but just go with it, like Trust, and go with Trust. So I did Trust, and it was like a couple of episodes or something. We did the table read, and it's me and Hilary Swank and Brendan Fraser, Simon Beaufoy, and Danny Boyle. There's five of us in this. Like, I'm like going, what's going on? Have a great table read. Simon Beaufoy was like, love your character, man. I'm gonna write him in some more episodes. Like, this is gonna be great. I was like, okay, that never happens. But my career highlight was one day, and it was a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. We're in the hills outside of Rome, and the whole crew there, and it's me, like just doing a single shot, and I've got, Hilary Swank is, and I are playing husband and wife, and she's in, we're just about to go do her scene, our scene together, and Harrison Dickinson, he's in the Beatles film. You're going to see him. He's an incredible actor. Um, he's playing my son-in-law. I just, all these people, and I start having this moment where I'm going, what the hell am I doing here? Like, what am I doing here? And I think the light went out of my eyes. But Danny Boyle is one of the most incredible human beings on the planet. He sees something happening. Like, he just the day wasn't great. Like, things weren't really popping. And he just calls a break. He's like, hey, John, come walk with me, man. Come walk with me. And I thought, here it is. I'm fired. He's going to replace me or whatever. And he takes me, and this is having, he was the first person I told in the industry, really, other than like my agent, think that I was not drinking. And he's like, the life changing stuff, or is it just a lifestyle thing? He's like, no, the life changing way. And he's like, cool. And he could see there were struggles, whatever. But he takes me for this walk through this olive orchard in this beautiful, it's magic hour. And he's like, hey, man, what's going on? I was like, I don't know, man. It's just like this thing's like, what? He's like, this, you're like Tigger on set. You're the most playful thing I've ever seen on set. Like, you bring it, you light it up. the light's not there. What's going on? I said, I'm just looking at you. You're double Oscar winner, Simon Beaufoy, double Oscar winner, Hilary Swank, double Oscar winner. All these people are around. They're all one. They're like your DOP is an Oscar. Like, and then I'm sitting out here. I don't know what I honestly, why am I here? And he's like, John, I have hired a lot of brilliant actors to do this show, and you're one of them. So whatever it is, jump over the wall, get out of the way of yourself, man, and go be that playful guy that I love and hired. And I like literally was bawling, like bawling my eyes out, because it was the first time in my career that anyone had said, you belong mixing it up with this level of people. You have landed where you need to be. And it changed my career, Todd. It changed my career, man.
Well, super perceptive of Danny to even see it and then to
right
talk to you about it.
Like to have the balls to call a break at magic hour, to go, I'm going to look after this guy. I'm going to just go find out if he's all right, could see what's going on, because something was going on. I wasn't giving him what. And then, you know what, Matt, I had the time of my life. And since then, what I have been cast from that moment, to Queen's Gambit, to Jack Ryan, to all of the things that I have been doing since, are all a result of that moment. And that's why it's a career highlight for me. I can point to working with all my heroes, and being in, like, working on doing some incredible stuff on Jack Ryan, and being in Queen's Gambit, which is, I love that. But that moment was a career highlight.
Yeah,
for sure.
I love it, by the way, that you're like, I'm just a working actor. Break shit out like that. Like, come on.
But it's true, Todd. It's true, man. Like, I am. And I've never wanted to be a movie star. When somebody said, what did you want to be? First of all, I was an astronaut. But when I've been an actor, what do you want to do as an actor and achieve? And it's in my diaries. I've kept diaries for years. I've only wanted to be respected by my peers and work. And that's what I've worked on. I've never wanted to be a movie star. Whatever, do I want to be in stuff that people may consider me a star? Yeah, because good work is great. When you do good work in your field, when you do good work, it feels good, know? And I want to do that. And I'll continue to send the elevator back down to kids that are coming out of drama school, or anybody that wants advice. My wife and I just got back from Morocco, and there was somebody on the plane. And I'll talk to anybody. We're sitting in line waiting to get to drop our bags off. We got talking, and he's like, oh, my niece is an actress and she's just starting out. And I said, here's my email address. If she ever needs advice or wants any questions, here you go. I'm here for it, man, because somebody's helped me. So many people have helped me that I love to give it back. But,
well, it's almost hypocritical. You got to pay it forward at some point.
100%,
you have to almost, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Love your story, buddy. Thank you for connecting with me.
I'm so glad we got to do this, and I'm glad that it worked out when it was going to work out. And I feel lighter having been able to make this happen today for you, brother. And because I've been waking up this morning and going,
no, all good. Like I said, I was in studio. I was working on shit anyway. So
yeah, man.
Where are you most active? Like, where should my following follow you?
So, like on Instagram, I'm at John Schwab. I know, if I'm on X or Twitter, it's usually I'm getting in touch with a company that I'm not happy with, and I need a response. But on Instagram, and there's sometimes I do things from set, sometimes I do things when I'm flying, because I love flying. I have a pilot's license, so I get out there and fly every now and then. But cool. I do need to do some more socials, and that's something that I'm talking to Shruti, my manager, about. And my agents about, because of things like the stories I have. They're saying, you should get your stories out, because sometimes they can be inspiring for people. And I do have so many stories of the things that have happened to me, like that are not coincidences. I think they were happened. I just noticed them. You start noticing things happening to you. Um, but I think I'll start doing that. But you can find me on Insta. You can. I don't do TikTok. Really, I think I'm on it because
You're
I
not
follow.
doing the dances.
I'm not doing the
Shit,
dances
John,
yet.
come on, bud.
My kids are on there. Like both my boys are, like I said, musicians. My son, I'm plugging it. West Wing Band. They're up and coming. They're great, man. They're a really good band. They're just about to go in and record their first EP, but you can
Nice.
follow them at West Wing Band and my eldest Jack Schwab and the Proxies. It's at the Proxies or at Jack at Right About Jack, and all my music is at John Schwab on Spotify. So and also hit me up, like send me an instant messaging, or if you have a question, like my email address, I don't mind giving it out. Like it's my acting email address, just johnschwabactor@gmail.com. Like if somebody has a question,
Well,
I'll if it's not stupid or whatever, like if you've got just hit me up if you need advice or have a question.
love it. Helping out the up and comers. 50 pounds is 50 pounds.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you again, John. Have a great day,
Todd,
buddy.
man. You too, brother.
I'll tag you when we're chucking this stuff around and share your stories.
Great stuff, dude. Thank you
Beautiful.
so much.
Have a great day.